here we go.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Hey everybody, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it is time for Patch Notes 516, and joining me is Kai.
Oh.
Good noises.
Yes.
Good intro. But yeah, so it's time for Patch Notes. If you don't know, it's time to know. The patch is quite long, so if you want to get yourself a drink, maybe some cookies,
Oh.
maybe, I don't know,
A
something.
vitamin water.
A vitamin water, do so, because this is going to take a second. There's a lot in this patch. So we're going to go over the patch, tell you what's in it, what we think's cool, what we think's stupid, what's broken, what's necessary, and all that fun stuff. So, couple little things overall, just off the bat. If you're watching this in the live status, welcome, all of you. If you're watching this after it was live, also welcome. And if you're watching it live, if you give this video a like, that'd be amazing and much appreciated. But let's start off with 516. Now, 516, there's only 2 more patches until we're on the patch they will be using for Worlds, which will be 518. So 516 is the last big patch they can do leading up to Worlds, because they still will have 2 patches left for tweaking any issues that arise with, any issues within the next 2 patches. So,
and it's a doozy.
So that's a lot of the meaning behind this. So we also are going to see the Juggernauts in this patch. Will be the first thing we'll go over, and the Juggernauts will be really interesting. I think Juggernauts are cool to get them now, honestly, because they're pretty damn fresh, and we'll maybe get to see some cool stuff happen at Worlds with Juggernaut champions. So that, I think, we'll mix it up. Maybe we will see how they fall in, though. So I saw the faces you made, Kyle. I saw it.
Well, I don't know. Go ahead.
So yeah, let's kick things off, though, because we need to keep this moving a little bit, or else we will be here for hours. Darius. So Darius is the first of the Juggernaut monsters, and let's just jump into numbers. Let's just start diving in. So in general, attack range is being increased, which is a good thing. Attack damage growth stat being increased. Health growth stat being increased. Armor growth stat being increased. Base attack speed being decreased. And attack speed growth stat is also being decreased. So some changes to make up for some of that. Now his passive, Hemorrhage, the duration of it is going to last for 5 seconds. The bleed damage, instead of it being 12 to 36 and then 9 plus 3 every other champion level, it's 10 to 27 and then 9 plus 1 per champion level. So actually a little bit of a decrease, but they're changing this from magic damage back to physical damage. I honestly think, just off the bat, this is a really good change. Just in general for people playing against Darius, because back in the day, that magic damage would actually stack up more than what people would expect. Kind of like how people aren't used to Shyvana's magic damage. Like, they assume she does AD and she actually does way more AP. Just early on in the game, he would do a lot of magic damage in lane because of Hemorrhage. So it's good that this is all under the same category as physical damage. I think that's the way it should be. So
Yeah.
that's my
I
personal
agree.
take.
No,
on
I
it.
agree. Because one of the problems with Darius is there's no really good way to counter him in lane, because you would think that you just buy armor
Yeah.
and like
Well,
health
and health.
counter him, but you'd still get Shrek by the magic damage. So I think this will hurt like his mid game where
Yeah.
people were building those stats, but you'd still get wrecked by the magic damage.
Yeah.
But I think this will buff his later game when you get Black Cleaver. I think that Black Cleaver will, because you get the penetration benefit since now it's physical damage. So I think that it's going to be overall a much better fit later in the game.
Yeah. So let's go to his Decimate. It's going to get a 10 mana reduction in cost. The cast time actually has a little bit of a delay, so it's 0.75 seconds instead of instant cash on hit. Now, Darius now heals for 10% of his missing health for each champion hit by Decimate's Blade, up to a maximum of 30%. So he gets a little bit of a heal back when he swings this. The blade damage is being reduced quite a bit. Instead of at 105 to 315, it's going to be 20 up to 100. The blade damage ratio, though, is being increased. Instead of it being 105, it's going to be 1, scaling up to 1.4 of attack damage. And then the handle damage is going to be 50% of Decimate's blade instead of 66%. Because as you know, the blade that hits the person deals more damage. So a little bit of a cutback on the handle damage. So a little bit less damage there, so you want to make sure you actually hit them with that. And enemies hit by dismayed handle will no longer receive a stack of hemorrhage. So what?
Like, you're almost dead, and you, like, wind up a Q and hit 3 people.
Yeah.
You instantly back at 30%, or, like, around there.
Yeah, it'd be great.
That could make for some pretty sweet plays. I also do like the fact that you don't get hemorrhage decks
on the handle.
Being hit by the handle.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's cool.
So a lot of the changes we see when they do things like this, it makes it so being good with the champion is helpful. You know?
Yeah.
So this is another one of those changes. So hitting it right is going to help. Now this, I believe there's an error with his W in the patch. So the cost on this will be 30 at all ranks now, so that's actually a buff. The cooldown, I think they said that this is backwards. Somebody said in the comments. I think it's going to be 8 seconds at all ranks now. Or no, wait, or isn't? Or I think they switched it already, because originally I think they had this wrong. Yeah. So it'll decay. So they fixed it already since I looked at it earlier. So it's going to slowly decrease in cooldown, obviously, as a level up instead of 8 seconds at all ranks. The damage is going to be 140% of damage or attack damage at all ranks instead of scaling from 120 to 200. The slow on it is 90% at all ranks, which is pretty high, but it only lasts for 1 second instead of 2, so you get a better slow, but for a shorter time. Attack speed slow no longer slows attack speed and no longer reduces crippling strike's base cooldown per hemorrhage stack on target. So to better slow for a shorter amount of time and consistent damage. You'll put 1 point into this, you'll max it out last. So unless you want the cooldown reduction, but you really won't need to. So
I actually don't like that change just because they like nerfed his base attack speed and his attack speed growth so hard that like even though they're slowed by 90% for 1 second, like that's only enough time to get like 1 maybe 2 autos off, like more autos. And so, or like just reposition so you can maybe like try to orb walk in front of them, but
let's jump to apprehend. Pulls enemies and slowed by 90% for 1 second. Cast time on it is actually going to be a little bit faster, which I like, because I always felt like there was just a little bit too much of a cast time on it originally. So down from 0.32 to 0.25. So not too many changes with that, honestly. And then on his guillotine, the damage on this is reduced at base levels, so 100 to 300 now instead of 160 to 340. Its cost will be 100, 100, and then when it's maxed out, it's going to cost 0. So kind of a different, interesting thing there. And so they removed refunding mana on kill because that won't do it anymore. Subsequent kills with Noxian Killing have no cost, so that's good. Kill 1, get 1 free. Hooray. And upon executing an enemy or all nearby lesser creatures, non-champions, become terrified. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's just for effect, though.
Yeah, it's just kind of neat, though. Also, if that saves your life because the dunk kills them and you're, like, bleeding out and minions were attacking, they'll run away in fear for a second and might give you enough time to reset and get in there. So, yeah. That's kind of neat.
So, yeah, I like how, isn't this what Darius used to be, like, before they initially nerfed him? Like, because haven't they been, like, slowly buffing this back up, and when he first initially came out, it was 0 mana?
Yeah, I think, and the reset.
You reset automatically.
Yeah. They've been switching that back, though, over time. Yeah, they basically have been reversing him over time.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know. It's Magoo. Like, he's going to be that dunk master still, but at the same time, your team has to be pretty far ahead because he's going to lack the damage to kill the entire team. So he's almost like a janitor. Like, he'll be really good at killing low health people, but he won't be super useful in fights because he's going to be easily kited after his pull. I don't know. Yeah. Overall, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, he should be fine.
I don't think he'll be like the new must-play champion, but I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
Garoon.
Garunian Desturian is next. All right, so let's just go over him. Recommended items have been updated. Who cares? Health growth stat being decreased. Attack damage growth stat being increased. Armor stat growth being increased. And attack range also being increased to what Darius will have as well. So, Believe in it. Decisive Strike. Now, silence duration is locked at 1.5 seconds at all ranks instead of scaling to 2.5, and the movement speed duration is not going to be as long, but it starts at the same effect. So, yeah. So, kind of actually nerfed overall, to be honest. So, but Decisive Strike honestly is decently strong as is. So, no worries there. Yeah.
I actually hate the fact that they did that. That they changed his silence.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I felt like it was too long, but like it was long enough that you could get your full judgment off. So you were basically like, I don't know, a semi caster because you would silence them and then spin on them and then ulti them.
Yeah.
But this will make counterplay a thing, and
yeah, it helps with that.
Like just think of it from like I'm thinking like Tristana. Okay, I'm silenced, and then he's spinning on me, and then I'm gonna shoot him away with my ulti. So like, there's a lot more opportunities to initiate the kiting sequence of Garen, and that's never good for a melee champion.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so now the next change is on his W. This is on his Courage. He no longer gets the active tenacity, no longer increases his armor and magic resist, but now passively killing units grants him 0.2 armor and magic resist. He gets 1 for kills on champions, large monsters, or epic monsters, and this will stack all the way up to a maximum of 30 at all ranks.
I hate this change.
It's kind of interesting, but I don't understand why you put points in this ever.
Exactly. Well, that and the fact that
wait, do you have to activate it? Do you activate it to get the stats? But I thought you said passively killing units gets you the stats. But
it grows the thing.
Yeah.
Like it grows it, but I don't think you get it until you actually activate it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which that would be kind of dumb.
I think that's how it is, though.
Like obviously, there's absolutely like before there was no point to max W.
Yeah.
And now there's like no point to max W. Like you could leave points available.
Yeah.
And not put it in W.
Yeah.
But I hate the fact that it doesn't provide tenacity anymore. Once again, going back to that kiting thing that I was talking about. Because it always helps when you have built-in tenacity. Like Aurelia is really hard to kite because she has that BS, but I don't know. I don't like that change either. So...
Yeah, it's kind of boring, but it's interesting but boring to me. Yeah, I agree. It's whatever. Let's move on to Judgment. Now, Judgment actually is a little bit different now. Cooldown is going to be 9 seconds at all ranks now. It's going to stay the same, and that's actually as low as it got previously, so that's kind of cool. Base damage per tick is being decreased quite drastically. As we can see, it's actually higher earlier, but then the ratio per tick is also lower, and its ticks per cast are lower at 5 from 6. But the reasons for this are because of these other new things. So Judgment Spin permanently increases at levels 1, scaling up to 16, resulting in the total ticks increasing all the way up to 10. So you're going to actually get more ticks than ever you had previously. Canceling Judgment early will refund the cooldown equal to the remaining duration of spins. Judgment deals 33% increased damage when striking a single target. So you actually do a lot to a solo person, and you will get way more damage out of this late game because you'll have more ticks. So
I think this is obviously good for Garen players just because like he was that early game beast and like a mid game monster, but then like he really didn't do anything late.
He didn't
game
scale.
besides the silence.
Yeah, he didn't scale.
And so this will obviously help with that, and it'll be he's basically I think that he'd be a really good like split pusher.
Oh hell
except for the fact that the other split pushers are probably still a little bit better than he is.
The one thing
go ahead.
Yeah, the one thing though that helps him in the split push if he can is when they tweaked his passive probably like 20 patches ago, but when they tweaked his passive to give him crazy amounts of regen, he can keep the split push game up longer. Like he can do it and if he can punish them, he can stay and just regen really fast. So that was one of the ways they did help, I think, with this split push. The first couple times they tweaked Garen. So that's one way to do it. But yeah, I agree. This could be a good split push thing. So we see how he translates. I think the new items also help him a lot. So we'll see. Right? Right.
Yes.
All right. And then Demacian Justice. Demacian Judgment ticks, and basic attacks against the villain deal an additional 1% of their maximum health as true damage. So that's kind of interesting. That's new. Demacian Justice deals true damage to the villain instead of magic damage, so he now has a true damage ult. Which
makes sense.
Yeah, which makes sense.
I have no idea why it was magic damage before.
I think that was another one of those, hey, we're going to give him something so his ultimate still feels impactful if somebody's countered you completely in lane with everything else they have. But true damage just makes it so now it doesn't matter. And that kind of makes sense for this style of ultimate. My only complaint here is I hate to compare him to Darius, but Darius can keep resetting his true damage ultimate, but Garen can't. But Garen scales off of health percentage, instead of damage. But I still think it's almost more impactful. Darius's is more impactful most of the time. So this is only helpful. I only think that this one's helpful against tanks. Like when you get a tank kind of low and you can just decimate them because it's percentage based. You're like, oh, good, 80% of your health is missing. You still have 1,000, but I can kill you.
You give them a kill and then buy Blade of the Rune King and just shrug them into the ground.
Yeah. So
no, don't do that.
Don't.
But,
that's a bad one.
But it's just I think that this Garen will have a lot of varying builds, and I'm interested to see where it comes out.
Yeah, I think, okay, so people always complain about how Garen's boring to play, and I think Garen's fun because people think he's boring and you just crush him with it, and I think I like throwing it back to older champions. Also, I don't say I grew up with them, but they were also, the first ones I was playing when the game was around.
That's because there were only 30 champions when we started playing the game. There's not 130 or whatever there are now.
127 or something. So
30, yeah.
Now next is a champion that
Skarner.
This is Skarner's 4th rework, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. I think this is the 4th time they've tried to do fairly drastic changes.
Too.
Yeah, Skarner's never been in a great spot, and I honestly think they could fix him completely / make him super overpowered if they would have just made his ultimate more like Warwick's, essentially, jumping to a target.
Jump.
So, but let's he should just burrow and then just appear and do it.
Whoa!
I know.
Now you're just flip flopping champions.
We're gonna take Rek'Sai and go hybrid with Warwick, and they're gonna combine. We're gonna have a burrow Warwick ult. So, but let's do this. So, health growth stat being decreased, attack growth stat being increased. So, passively, crystals spires. So, while near active crystals, these will be around. There's going to be crystals on the map now for him.
It's going to be like charms.
It's going to be like collect all the crystals. When you're near these active crystals, Skarner gains 100 movement speed, 48 to 150%, 42 plus 6% of champion level attack speed, and restores 3% of his maximum mana per second.
Shit.
So he gets a big area buff when he activates the crystals, and then they're active for 15 seconds. Capturing a crystal prevents them from being captured by the opposing team for 15 seconds.
The funniest shit I've ever seen in this patch is right here, and they're basically just saying, hey guys, we still want to hold on to the idea of Dominion, but we don't. We know that you guys don't ever play it, so we're gonna just put it on a champion and then put it in the game, and we're gonna see how it works.
Yep. Prepare for more changes in the future.
I also, this isn't gonna stick. I'll tell you that. This will be changed before Worlds, or else it just won't be played during Worlds.
Oh yeah.
But I also saw that if the opponent can get these crystal spires, and you get gold for capturing it. So
yeah,
what the fuck? So that's terrible passive. That's just a stupid idea.
Yeah. So jumping to his crystal slash, the cooldown on this will decrease with level instead of staying the same. So he's gonna get more benefit from that, which will be nice. And the cost of it once again has been reduced, so he can spam the ever living shit out of it. The damage on it will not scale as much with attack damage or with physical damage, but it will start a little bit. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay, never mind. Instead of it being 20 to 60, it's going to be a percentage of attack damage instead of it having a base physical damage. So it is just based purely off of attack damage. And then they've removed the damage ratio on it. So there you go. So that'll be interesting. So if you do build more damage, you will get more damage. So that's kind of nice. Charge duration, 4 seconds now. Cooldown reduction on non-champions is 0.25 seconds per attack on the cooldown reduction. It's still 1 versus champions. And they've removed no longer increases movement speed or attack speed. So some tweaks to it. You can use it more often, spam it more often as you rank it up, and it costs less mana. And then W on his exoskeleton. Shield amount, instead of it being 80 to 300 with a 0.8 ability power ratio, it will now be 12 to 16% of maximum health with a 0.8 ability power ratio. So building him with more health will get you more shield. So if you build him as a tank, you will get more tank shield. So that's a bonus.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, so Fracture, cost as 55 at all ranks. Cooldown will be reduced to 11 seconds. It's a little bit longer. Slow duration down from 2.5 to 2 seconds. Fracture's missile speed decreases for each enemy hit, so it will slow down as it goes through them. Afflicts targets with crystal venom for 5 seconds, causing Skarner's next basic attack to deal bonus physical damage and stun them for 1 second. So if you land Fracture, it will slow them. If you follow up with an auto, you will stun them. Crystallizing enemies with Fracture and Impale grants Skarner Crystal Charge, the buff for being near the active crystals for the duration or of the disable, and reduces the cooldown of Fracture by. So basically, land Fracture and auto attack them and do more damage, stun them, and get the bonus from Crystal Charge.
I don't know if I like this, but it's obviously a buff.
Yeah, it sounds like a good buff. It sounds like something that can actually get him in a position
But
to
it's
then
so
use something.
slow still.
No, I agree. It's still
If you get hit by Fracture, you suck. Like, you suck. Just step to the side. Just step to the side and Skarner does nothing.
And that's so yeah, so when people say, well, Skarner's actually in a good spot. Yes, I agree. If you hit everything, because people don't ever dodge anything, you can make this work. But most people will step aside.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I don't think I've played a game on the PBE where my average, like the average elo in the game is above bronze.
Oh god, everybody in the PBE is terrible bad. It's
so like,
bad.
It might seem like he's really, really, really good, but like he suffers from the same problems.
Yeah.
He's easily kiteable. He doesn't have any gap close, and the slow / stun is almost impossible to hit at higher ranks. So, or like at higher elos, or like, just basically if you're paying attention, you're not going to get hit by it.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, I mean, they gotta be really sneaky, but yeah, I agree. So now let's move on to Impale, which is 100 mana at all costs now. Cooldown on it is going to be shorter. Magic damage on it is going to be majorly decreased, but he deals additional 100% of Skarner's total attack damage at the beginning and end of spell. No longer deals extra damage to units affected by Crystal Venom. So the changes that I'm pulling away from the overall rework for Skarner is, if you build attack damage and want to do damage, you can actually build them as damage now. If you don't want to do that and you actually want to do full tank will be rewarding based on the facts that you'll still have okay damage, like how it should be, but you'll be getting way more of a shield from whatever your exoskeleton. So I think this actually opens his build path slightly more personally, but I don't think it still matters because I still have problems with him as a champion and his kit. Although I will be honest, the changes to Fracture do sound a lot better overall. Yes. So overall, improvements for Skarner. So let's just see if it works.
If you can hit his Fracture, he's going to be a high impact champion, but it's almost impossible to hit his Fracture.
Yeah. Yep. Next, we have the Hueykaiser. So a lot of people know Mordekaiser is like my favorite champion in the game, so some people probably want to know what I think about all these changes, which I will gladly give you my input. So, recommended items have been updated. His movement speed has been viciously reduced, but I understand why they're doing that in a second. Base health being reduced a little bit. Health growth stat increased. Basic attack damage increased. Attack damage stat growth increased. Attack speed stat growth increased. Health regen increased. Health regen stat decreased, and attack range has been increased to 200, which is fairly significant. Okay, so Iron Man passive, instead of 3% per second, it's going to be 1.5% base health per second on the shield decay. Stay of decayed. Iron Man's shield no longer decays below 25%, which is new.
That's a buff.
It's a buff. Maximum shield, instead of it being 120 to 630, 90 plus 30 champion level, it's 25% of Mordekaiser's maximum health. So building him damage will give you less shielding, but building him defensive gives you more shielding. So
that's a buff after like 2,500 health.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. And then shield regeneration, instead of 35% of damage dealt, it's 25. So a little bit of a nerf there. But you do passively keep 25%.
But you're still not, like, it's not going to be hard to, like, stack his passive at all.
No.
Like, that
Same.
10% isn't going to be a lot. Because you're only talking, what, at max, like, 750 health? That's if you have 3,000 life. So, like, you're going to do that in, like, 1 EQ.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not going to be that big of a change.
Not that big of a change.
Not that big of a nerf.
Yeah. So don't worry about that. I've played around with it on PB. I've actually played the Mordekaiser. So Mace of Spades cost is going to be 20 to 32 health. The cooldown on that is 10 seconds down to 4 seconds. Now empowers Mordekaiser's next 3 attacks. Each attack deals 2 scaling up to 3 times the previous attack damage. So if your first attack deals 100 damage, the second one deals 300, and the third one deals 900. Lots of scaling on this.
Those are. Never mind.
We'll get to this. Damage for.
Those are example numbers, not actual numbers.
Yes, those are example numbers. So the base damage is 4. And the max damage is 20 when you've maxed it out. But that's because 3 attacks of 20 would be a lot. Like, as you can see, the scaling of 100, 300, 900. So it'd be 20...
40?
20... No,
Wait,
20,
what?
20, 60... It'd be times 3.
No.
Yes.
Next.
3 times the previous attack damage. So,
No. Yes.
Yes.
So it'd be 60, yeah, and then 180.
yeah. So that's how it works. So, and then it has ratios on it too. So his ratios now are scaling from attack damage and ability power. So there's his ratios for his attack damage, 0.25 all the way up to 0.3, and then his ability power ratio on it is 0.2. Maximum damage is 180, 2.7 total attack damage, 1.8 ability power. So the 180... All right, that one's confusing me. We're just going to ignore that. Let me put it this way.
What do you mean?
If you hit somebody with the third attack, it's going to hurt.
On the third Q at max damage, it'll be 180 with your ratios.
No, 180.
With your ratios.
Yeah, with your ratios. So a lot of damage.
Yeah. But we were actually... Andrew and I were actually kind of discussing this before we went live, just because it was like the most interesting. It's just like the hot topic that we went to immediately. I have no idea why.
Well, it's because Mordekaiser, hot topic.
Well, yeah, he's the hotness. So, in my view, this is actually a nerf to Mordekaiser, because not only did they nerf his movement speed, but it was hard. It's hard to get 3 autos off with a melee champion against a single target.
And I countered that. I countered your argument with. But all you have to do is get
you have to waste flash to get the max damage. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
I think if you kite,
anything.
I think you can kite it correctly, and I think like you can do other things too. Because people are wondering if you're going to be building as AP or AD or hybrid. I think honestly a good hybrid build is going to work quite well, or a AD AP hybrid
What is
build.
that, vodka you're drinking?
No. What I think you want to honestly do.
Every
what
hybrid champion in the game, if they built hybrid, they suck balls.
No, not true at all. Not true at all.
What champion's good?
Kale does fine hybrid.
Kale sucks balls hybrid.
Not even close to true. You build her attacks
Are you
behind
kidding me? You
No,
either
listen. Here's what it is.
You
build a Gunblade and you get the slow, and the slow is actually quite huge on Mordekaiser, because with the next thing we'll talk about, he'll have plenty of movement speed and them slowed to kill them. Trust me.
30 or 30.
Trust me.
30 AD.
People will be building Mordekaiser, or people will try to take Mordekaiser into a support role in a second. But honestly, you're gonna want him to be a makeshift ADC in a second. Or he's gonna do. They're gonna have to change him. Trust me, this is gonna be stupid. We're gonna see so much Mordekaiser coming up. Trust me. So okay.
No, we're not. He's gonna be completely useless.
No, because
this is so funny, because I don't think we've ever been so adamant about. And so like
you're so wrong. It's
opinion.
Unbelievable.
No,
Anyway.
I mean, like, I'm way over here.
No, I
He,
know.
like, sucks balls, and you're like way over here and saying, "Oh, he's gonna be the strongest champion since Elise was nerfed."
There's some really
Since Elise
stupid
came
things
out.
he can do. I've played it. He can go solo Baron. Like A third attack on his Q. He can just go hit Baron for like 1200 each time, constantly.
Yeah, no, he can hit Baron for 1200 once.
Yeah, and then it's on a 4-second cooldown, so then he just
Once.
does it again.
Yeah, once, but you have to get the third auto
But
off.
listen,
So in the meantime, when you're like, ooh,
he's gonna bring a dragon with him.
he's just sitting there slapping you in the face, and you're gonna die.
He's gonna bring a dragon with him to tank it, and the dragon will kill it. I've seen it. I've done it. All right. Anyways, let's move on to his W. Harvesters of Sorrow. It's got a new name. Mordekaiser now receives full experience from any lane minions he kills. This is why you'll see him in the bot lane because of this reason. He can still solo lane, but this is the reason why you'll see him down there. It's got no cost. It's got a cooldown from 12 to 8 seconds. The damage on it is 140 up to 300 over 4 seconds. And so at the end of its duration, or whenever Mordekaiser reactivates it, it's going to deal 50 to 130 damage to all nearby enemies and heal both Mord and his ally for the damage dealt to them. So he does have sustain with this in lane, and his ally does too. And you can't use this ability anymore, which is why they changed the name of it, in a solo lane. So this only works in the dual lane or if the jungler comes to gank and they're within range. Is the only time you can use it, which is why this kind of pushes him into the bot lane. Not completely, but this is what kind of puts him there if you want to use this. The dot detonation can overlap, dealing double damage to enemies. So if you and your ally are on top and you detonate, they will take double the damage. Mordekaiser can cast on enslaved souls as well. So once again, I've also done this, and yes, you can do it on enslaved souls. So if you kill someone, then you can cast it and pop it quick if you're burning from ignite or something to get some health. If you killed them and they're still, igniting you. So it's an interesting aspect. I actually do really like the play with it. You still get the movement speed too, which was the big change Mordekaiser got previously on his W. So this is why it works in the bot lane. You put it on your ally, you both run in really fast together, you deal damage to them, you stand on top of them because you're Mordekaiser, and then you detonate to get health and deal damage. So you kind of aggressively attack with it and heal. So I even if they kept Mordekaiser the way he is right now, if they would have just implemented this, I would have been happy. So, but obviously they're changing him.
The full experience is no joke.
Yeah, that is huge.
If he is played in bottom lane, which I think that people will try him out because of this change, like in these changes to his W, like I think that, like I just feel like there's no other lane where hitting your next level is as important as it is in bot lane.
Yeah.
And so if he hits 6 and then you can do your, all in and get a kill off it, you could basically just just poop on bottom lane and just crush it into the ground.
Yeah.
But if you don't use it properly, you're going to end up fucking up the wave, just screwing up the wave. Like, wave position is really, really important in bot, and your W is going to just automatically push the wave, which you get a heal from it, but at the same time, it's kind of, do you want to be overextended, and get ganked? It's very, very hit and miss. So I think that if played properly, it can be really effective. If not played properly, you're just going to consistently get ganked and shit on. So
I think that helps, but I think the other thing too is I think the big thing people need to take away, people think Mords might be crap now because of some of these changes and because he's going to be kind of forced into a carry bot laner. But getting the early level will be helpful, but you need to realize up front when I've played the new Mord changes, I don't like the way he feels early, but as the game goes on, he gets better and better, which is why ramping will be helpful. So people are going to see him probably maybe get pooped on occasionally in the bot lane, but it's because he needs to actually get going. So, but that's what his shield's for. That's why he can actually become a carry in the bot lane. The shield will protect him. That's the point of it. So, but once again, let's go to Siphon of Destruction. Damage on this being reduced, but that's because the ratio on this is going to be 0.6 ability power and 0.6 total attack damage instead of just a 0.6 on ability power. The cooldown on this is being reduced to scale down to 5 seconds instead of saying at 6, and it now grants 15% of Iron Man's maximum shield when hitting champions. So there's that. It's still very similar. I actually hate the way it looks, but it's still basically the same ability.
It's the same ability. It's just
tweaked.
They just made it a hybrid ability, and hybrid champions suck balls. So let's continue.
Yep. I don't think you'll build him full hybrid. I'm not saying do that. I'm saying he'll get a hybrid item. So.
Well, then you're talking about you basically gave up 100 base damage on your E and a whole bunch fucking damage on your Q, and you're
No.
getting these AD ratios.
No, because the basic his base damage on his W is up. Yeah. Well, no,
No, I'm talking about his Q and his E. Like, you nerfed base damage and gave him AD ratios.
Yes.
And so, like, you're talking. What is Hex? What is the
80 AP and what?
Like 60 AD?
40.
40?
Yeah, you can't give that item that much.
So you're talking 25 extra damage, and they took away 100 off of your E. Plus,
if you build him full AP now, yes, he's not gonna hit as hard.
But here's talking build revolver, and you're getting 25 damage from E for building revolver, and then you're also getting, what's the ratio on 0.3? So it's what? What is that?
Dude, you're gonna.
What is that?
What are you talking about?
What is 30% of 20, or what is 30% of 40?
I don't know. I'm bad at math. 30% of 40? It's like 12. It's
12 extra damage.
Dude,
on Q.
I know his E is less entertaining. It's not about the E anymore.
And his Q is not entertaining.
Dude, his E does so much or his Q does so much damage.
Oh, I gotta see. I think this is bullshit.
Dude, I've seen someone one-shot somebody with the third proc.
After flashing, unless they're flashing and killing the 40 kill 80s carry, that's not worth.
Just saying. Also, you're gonna be building him like Gunblade and then Trinity Force. I'm not kidding. It's gonna be. You're gonna see the weirdest builds, and they're gonna work. It's so stupid.
Oh, they're not.
All right. So the next we have
Children
of the Grave. I'm cutting you off. Go stats. Instead of 20 to 100 attack damage, it's 10 to 50. Dealing damage to Dragon causes you to get Dragon's Soul enslaved. It follows him around. So that's fun. If you activate it on an enemy champion, then you obviously will get their life. Same way. The alt still works the same. Just if you deal damage to Dragon, you get him. So hooray for that. But while you have Dragon, I believe you cannot cast your alt on anyone because it's basically like your alt's busy, but it doesn't go on cooldown once Dragon dies. If you didn't use your alt, because you're not alting Dragon, you just deal damage to Dragon. So
this basically pigeonholes Mordekaiser into either mid or bottom.
Yeah, bottom lane. Yeah, no, he's not a top anymore. He doesn't have a place there. And seriously, if somebody comes and ganks your lane, bot lane, or comes and ganks mid, if you're playing mid mord, your jungler, if you both have okay health, seriously, go do Dragon early. Seriously, and then come back to lane with your Dragon and kill them all over again. Or kill the turret, because Dragon massacres turrets. So, yeah, the Dragon buff thing is hilarious and honestly huge. And in fights,
is it as big as Dragon is?
Oh yeah, he's fucking enormous. And in fights where teams are fighting over Dragon, if you're Mord and you damage him, and then the fight breaks out after Dragon, some team's gonna get Dragon with Mordekaiser. So actual Dragon fights, fighting over Dragon, if there's a Mord on one team, there is a way bigger outcome when that Dragon dies, regardless of who gets it. So I think there's some weird counterplay there. Like, do you want to try to steal it from that team, or do you want to run away because if they get it, or regardless, Mordekaiser's gonna get a pet Dragon and fuck all us? You know, like, oh my god, like, it's seriously scary. So yeah.
Someone asked in chat how he's gonna be in the jungle. I actually don't think he's gonna be very good in the jungle because he has no gap close. He has his W movement speed, but he has no gap close. He has no CC. He doesn't really have any ganking potential at all. So I say no.
So I've been playing current Mordekaiser in the jungle a couple times just to try it. It's really slow early. Your ganks aren't good unless they're really over pushed. Yes, the W helps, but it's not really a thing. It doesn't really help. So no, it's not very good, and it still probably won't be very good. The only thing that would help with the new Mordekaiser, the Dragon would be good, and the Q would help while killing creeps in the jungle. So that would actually help you deal damage to the monsters. But other than that, no. Yeah, it's not really great. So, all right. So those are the Juggernaut changes. Long-winded, yes, but necessary, also yes. So thank you for sticking through that. The rest of the patch will probably be slightly quicker.
You know what I think would be funny? If we like revisit, like at the start of these patch notes, we like go back to like the last patch and like kind of like what we said, and then like
What actually happened?
What the meta actually shifted into.
Well, I'm always right, aren't I? Isn't that how that works? Somebody can confirm. Can confirm in chat. I said it live on the internet. That means it's right.
Can confirm.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So the next part is base statistic compensation. So there's actually a lot of item changes coming up in the patch.
A lot of the armor items
Yeah.
are being nerfed.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a second. Well, they recently, but they kind of nerfed the other ones, so understandable.
Yes.
And they changed all the AP items. So, it's everybody saying rip Mord. Not really. Seriously. Yeah.
It's kind of funny because you look at it and it's like rip Mord,
Oh my God.
OP, Mord OP. Why
Nobody-
is Mord so OP?
nobody
There's like
knows.
nobody in the middle.
Watch him become the most balanced rework champion of all time.
That wouldn't be hard. Like if he was like anywhere close to balanced, then he'd be the most balanced champion rework of all time.
Yeah.
Because they're either stupid good or stupid bad.
Oh man.
Someone just said Jax is good.
Somebody just said.
Hybrid, and
Somebody
I
just
just
asked when the next
punched
live
you
stream will
right
be.
in the
It's
face.
happening right now.
Right now.
Right now. So base stat changes. So here's some growth stat changes. Blitzcrank gets 0.5, Braum gets 0.5, Leona gets 0.5, Not gets 0.5, Taric, Rammus, Amumu, Tom Kench, Alistair. They all get 0.5.
The supports.
Bard gets 4 and Thresh gets 4. So all the support champions, yeah. And Tom Kench, who's not a support.
And Amumu.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, that's random. So so some changes there. It's some nice love for them. Yeah, let's move to champions though. Champion changes. That's usually where we start the patch. Ari. Okay, so Essence Thief is going to be seeing a bit of a nerf. She's really strong right now, so she's going to be getting some less healing from this at a 3 to 20 plus, and then 2 plus 1 per champion level. It's 3 up to 18.
I actually don't like this change. Like, I understand
Well.
that she's really good, but like, I don't think she's good enough to nerf.
No,
makes
I'm
sense.
okay. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Like, there's a lot of champions that I would say that are still stronger than her. Like a lot in the mid lane, just in the mid lane, like Victor.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that.
Oh, foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. Yeah, I agree. No, that's why I think him and her are taking it the hardest in the mid. Hi-yo. Phrasing. Next is Alistair's headbutt travel speed is actually going to be reduced a little bit. This helps with the pulverize combo, or headbutt pulverize. So
But it also nerfs him
a little bit.
at the higher elos.
It allows people to react to it.
Correct. So, yeah, I like the change.
Yeah, I do too. Actually, it's a solid one. It's not a big deal, honestly. It's counterplay.
Can we just skip?
We're back to normal Azir. Remember back in the day when it was just bug fixes? Guess what? It's just bug fixes. Look at all this bug fix nonsense. Just a bunch of things with other people or accidentally casting soldiers with the wrong abilities. Also, actually, Azir now collides with enemies at a distance of 150 and not 200, so there's your one change. Other than that, it's just a bunch of bug fixes, which is good. He's the most buggy champion in the history of League of Legends, so gonna kind of gloss over the bug fixes, because bug fixes are bug fixes. This is a big change that I know Kyle is super excited about. Neurotoxin is getting a 4% decrease on the target's current health damage, so from 8% to 4%. Take it away, Kyle.
So what they did is they're like, oh, this champion isn't played anymore because she's complete shit because we nerfed her into the ground. And then they overbuffed her, and then they're like, holy shit, this champion does too much damage. Let's cut her damage in half. And so they fucking nerfed her into the ground, and now she's not going to be played anymore. Take it away, Andrew.
All right, so moving on. I don't think it's as huge a video as you're making it, but it is effective. I do agree with that.
4% of their current health. Like, you Q someone at full health. That's 4%. That's tank busting, baby. That's tank busting.
Yeah, it doesn't help the
champion shit.
All right.
Let's move on.
Moving on. It was all about the stun is all we ever wanted back. Castedin now additionally scales with a 0.2 ability power on Rift Walk. Extra stacks of Rift Walk add 0.1 ability power per stack. So Rift Walk is going to deal more damage again. But it's still at a shorter duration. So
basically, this helps late game Castedin.
Yeah, majorly.
Yeah, because you don't have enough mana to like spam Rift Walk constantly when you are lower level. because you're not far enough in your build. But later in the game, you're going to be able to, if you do Rift Walk on top of somebody, which is fairly easy to do, um, you're gonna pop them pretty good. You're gonna be able to deal some damage finally.
Potty Papas with Cassidon.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kale's getting a huge buff. Her base attack damage is, nerf. Her base attack damage is being reduced by 5. Moving on.
I actually don't like that change because Kale's actually pretty tough to get through the jungle with in the initial like 3 camps that you take.
She is, but then after she finishes her first item, she's super overpowered.
Oh, you get Devour and everything dies.
Yeah, she murders. So, Lee Sin seeing a buff. Like, what?
I can play Lee Sin again. Woo!
Yeah, so he's gonna get some changes on his passive. Instead of 15 energy per hit, it's gonna be 20 on the first attack, and then 10 energy on the second. So you get a little bit back after the first one, which is actually really helpful for preceding abilities and other things. And then on Dragon's Rage, enemy champions that collide with the target take 15 up to 21 of the target's bonus health as physical damage. So now his ultimate, when used with collision of others, is going to deal some significant damage. So
this is huge.
Yeah,
so basically, to gloss over the passive, they're making it so like not professional Lee Sin players can play Lee Sin and still maintain some form of energy. And the R combo, or like the R, is super huge because now it not only gives you the opportunity to do the quote-unquote insect play that everybody does so well, but like if you can kick like a tank and hit the back line, like that's a shit ton of damage.
Yeah.
Like
it's a big change for Lee. Rush is happy right now.
So I actually really like that change.
Yeah. So next is LeBlanc. Now LeBlanc got nerfed decently in like 5 patches ago, and now they're basically reverting half of that back. So the missile speed on distortion is going back up 150, and mimic distortion also obviously following suit. So it's slowed it down quite a bit, and now it's going to be back. So this is going to help her potentially come back a little bit.
Silence back on.
No, that'll never happen.
Because holy cow,
I don't.
These people are just like, oh, we're going to change stuff, then we're going to revert it, then we're going to change stuff.
Do you remember when this game had dodge?
Oh, I love that shit.
You could buy
so awesome.
You could buy dodge as a stat. You could buy dodge runes. It was insane. You could dodge like 70% of anyone ever threw.
But it was just auto attacks.
Yeah, but I mean, any ADC was like, oh, I can't ever attack them because I'll never deal damage to them.
Yeah.
So
well,
they phased that out, and only Jack's got to hold on to it pretty much with his
Counter-Strike.
Helicopter. Yeah, helicopter. I feel like they're slowly getting rid of silence in the game. Garen's is getting taken down. LeBlanc's disappeared. A couple other champions have slowly been losing silence too.
But I got a better fucking idea. How about you don't take out silence and you remove fear because it's freaking retarded?
Yeah, fear's an interesting thing.
You can't just keep getting rid of stuff because pretty soon we're just going to be playing with slows, stuns, and then that's it.
Roots, yeah.
Nope, no roots. They're phasing that shit out too.
See ya, Roots. Yeah. So just saying. Anyways, next is Lysandra.
Oh, I like this change.
I do actually really like this change. One of my favorite changes actually in the patch. It's not a big one, but I like it. So whenever she casts Frozen Tomb on herself, she's gonna heal for the amount listed, 100 to 200, plus ability power, plus 1% of 1%. Okay, plus 1% per 1% of your missing health. So
basically,
you're gonna heal.
Yeah, you're gonna heal. So it's best to use it when you're almost dead. But this doesn't change anything that she struggles with. Like Spaghetti still struggles with like her Qs and stuff, and her like inability for like to be mana efficient and stuff like that if you don't plan out your passive properly, like play with your passive properly. And so I think that she's still kind of just meh.
Yeah.
But because this is just like a, if this situation happens, then you use this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like a every, an all the time kind of thing. So I don't know. I like the change. It's a nice change. I'll probably play her some just for fun, but I don't think it's gonna make her like a viable champion for like LCS or anything.
No, she has her places for dive comps. But yeah, we've seen some of that die out because of other champions. But maybe it'll come back because of another champion. Foreshadowing. Next is Lucian. He's been weak for a while. Light Slinger, second shot now always does 100% to minions, and the attack damage ratio on it will have another level at level 16, scaling differently, so it'll have 0.6. So as the game continues, he's going to get a little bit more damage out of a Light Slinger. So kind of a good late game thing for him. Just helps him out a little bit. And then another change to him is going to be his Ardent Blaze. The movement speed on it is going to be increased. You'll only get it for 1 second instead of 2. The cost of it's being decreased by 10, but now his teammates can trigger it for him so he can get the movement speed bonus. So that one's kind of interesting.
They honestly could have left it at 2 seconds, I think.
I think they could have too, but
because movement speed, while it's important, Lucian doesn't struggle with mobility. Like that's one of the things that he's actually very good at.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this is just kind of Magoo because like he already has his E, so you don't need like that constant movement speed. Like it helps, don't get me wrong, but like
it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice, but he struggles with different shit than movement speed. So you're buffing his strong suits, and there's better champions at what he does.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he got nerfed into the ground. Honestly, I still wouldn't play him. So
yeah,
calling it as I sees it.
Well, I played it on stream the other day and shreked people.
Yeah, you wanted to surrender like 5 minutes into that game.
Well, that I don't want to talk about.
Get carried. Next is
I carried.
Next is Nasus.
Like 9 and 3 or something.
The range on it is being increased to 150. That's up from 125. So little nice change for him. He doesn't need it, but sure.
Yeah, cool.
Then we have Nami. Her movement speed on Surging Tides is up to 60 from 40, and the ratio on it is going to be at 0.2 instead of 0.1, although nobody builds AP on her, so whatever. ARAM buff. And then on her ultimate Tidal Wave, Surging Tides movement speed bonus is doubled to allies within a Tidal Wave. So a little bit more of a movement speed. So this is more initiation Nami now. Like we're going hard. Nami Sivir bot lanes. Bring him on.
Sucks so bad.
What?
I said I hate Sivir.
She's
so bad.
She's so good.
Now you just replace that bitch. You get an actual good AD carry. You play Nami. Really good Nami players are
there
like
you go. And there you go. There it is.
To play against. It's so dumb. I hate Nami.
There you go.
Because I can't play her. I'm jealous.
And there it is. The truth has been revealed.
It is.
Next we have Rammus. Defensive Ball Curl getting more damage. A good change for him. He could honestly use it. So a bit more damage at all ranks. That would be 10 at all ranks. So we like that. So yeah, I believe the appropriate response would be okay.
Okay.
Rumble's content with it. And yeah, Rumble Equalizer cooldown being increased because it's a very strong spell. 120, 110, 100 instead of 105, 90, 75. Now starts 150 units closer to your cursor. Just kind of makes it a little bit maybe easier to cast. I don't think it's hard to cast, but some people have trouble. So yes.
This is needed.
Yes.
Because 75 seconds is like the amount, like, let's say a team fight happens and everybody dies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's level 18, everybody has, what, 66-second respawn times or whatever, and then everybody gets up and they run to fight again, and then it's back up again. So, I don't know. Rumble's really strong if he's played well, but it's one of those things where he's so hard to play well that you don't see him very often in solo queue or not solo queue, just like normal games, just like games in general. So I don't approve of this overall.
Yeah, it's a way to do. I agree. I don't either, but it's a good way to put in counterplay without hitting numbers, like damage numbers.
Yes.
So.
Which I like.
Yeah, which is a nice way to do it without being like, his equalizer's taking its damage down in half. You're like, no, just put on a longer cooldown and keep it the same. Like, I'd rather have that, so.
Let me ask you a question. If they did that, would Rumble be any good?
If they nerfed his ult in half?
If they nerfed his
No, because his whole... No. Because the whole thing about Rumble is you change mid-game fights with your ultimate, and that's what you snowballs your team. So that's him. Tom Kent is seeing some changes, just basically prioritizing on the Devour and some Voyage crap, making it easy for particle stuff, spawning 1 second later on my wayping, stuff like that. Don't care for the champion right now. Think he's kind of boring.
I think he's more of a top laner than a support.
Yeah, that too. They kind of messed that up, I think.
I got a great idea for Skarner.
Yeah?
You give him like a little, you burrow him in for his ulti, and then he can come up kind of like Tom Kench, but like obviously not as far.
Yeah.
And
I'm listening.
They don't get the circle identification, and everybody who's hit in it gets the suppress.
Oh.
So we could pull like 3 or 4 people if he hit 3 or 4 people if they're just like standing on top of each other.
Why can't he pull multiples? That would be cool. All right, listen, Rito. Pull multiple.
Rito, if you're watching.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Next, we have to move on to Satan.
I hate Satan.
Fixing a bug with this camouflage. Displacing Teemo while in brush wouldn't reveal him, which, obviously a problem. And the Noxious Trap, the slow no longer decays, has been removed. Enemies poisoned by Noxious Trap are revealed for its duration. Teemo's visual effect for tossing and bouncing traps has been upgraded. Giant, who cares? I'm going to go with that. Another change to another underpowered ADC at the moment is Twitch. His ambush cost is now down 20 mana, so that's better for him. And his spray and pray damage is being increased at later ranks. Just a little bit, the bonus attack damage. So up to 30 and 40 from 28 and 36. So small changes.
You're talking 0, 2, and 4 damage on its ulti. So
pretty
not that
small.
big of a deal.
Yeah. But it's better than nothing. So. Yeah. Next is Victor. So we foreshadowed this. So Victor, what they've done is Victor has shown to be a strong champion when he gets rolling a little bit. To open up the counterplay, they're going to have his hex cores work slightly different. So the hex core ability power, 3 per level, 54 at level 18, is now 1 per level, 18 at level 18. And now it's going to have 10 mana per level. So he's going to get some mana out of it instead of just damage. So a nerf on that. Hex Core Mark 1 is going to give you less ability power and more mana. So once again, he's going to get more mana and less ability power as you level up through the game. So once again, a nerf on Hex Core 1. Hex Core 2 is seeing a little bit of a nerf. As you can see, the damage at 18 is still below 130. It's 108. So it's still a nerf. The mana will be higher though, so he'll have a better mana pool once again, up 60. And then the perfect hex core is going to be giving 180 instead of 168. So it finally becomes a buff at its perfect core value. And your mana itself will then take the nerf, being at 450 instead of 500. So you're going to be getting more mana and have a bigger mana pool to pull from, but you'll have less damage until you have the perfect hex core. It's a way to prevent him from scaling so hard in the mid game and have him still scale to the late game the way he has been. Go.
Well, this is a good change, just because I see a lot of people getting the second one and then like just waiting.
Yeah.
Until they're like later in the build to get perfect, and this will actually like promote actually getting perfect hex core.
Yes.
So you can't just like get the hex core to 2 and then just rush all your items and finish it off.
Yeah.
But not the problem with Victor. Next champion.
Vel'Koz is next. Reactivation time on his plasma fission is 0.25, down from 0.3, and the secondary shot range is being increased to 1100 instead of 90. Or 900. Wow, that'd be a huge one. But yeah, so buffs, but Vel'Koz.
Yes.
So Thunderclaws.
I didn't know Vel'Koz was still champion.
Yeah, he's kind of floating around, literally. Got him. Thunderclaws on Volibear's next. Upon activation, lightning will chain outward from Volibear once. Stupid gnat. Once and deal damage. Fun fact.
Cool.
I'm gonna kill this gnat. Zach is next. His elastic slingshot is going to see an increase in range at all ranks. This is pretty big, actually.
Yeah.
1,800!
That's red buff to Dragon Pit.
That's so far!
Like, actually standing on red buff and hitting Dragon.
I know.
So, like, that's pretty huge, but Zach's, once again, still struggles from the same stuff. I honestly didn't feel that early game ganking ability was one of those things, but I don't think it is still either. He's still the same champion.
This helps his ganks, though, so...
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, obviously, but like I said, like, I don't think that ganking was one of his weak points.
Yeah, that wasn't.
So...
Grizzle. So... just what it is. But yeah, so I like the change, though. It helps him more than hurts him, obviously. So just good for him. Good for him. He's still a good Cinderhulk jungler, honestly. Although Cinderhulk's getting nerfed. Foreshadowing. Zed is last. Now, this helps Zed quite drastically. The Death Mark reactivation time is back down to 0.5 seconds from 1. So now people can dive turrets with him again. That was the big reason why no one was playing Zed. The reactivation time. Fun fact.
I didn't think that Zed was in that bad of a spot, and this will obviously help.
This is the
buff
reason
it,
why he
but-
wasn't playing an LCS level.
Yeah,
player.
but I still feel like he's
Nice.
still, like, if you're good with Zed,
He's
like,
a face.
he's
Yeah,
gonna
smashes,
be good.
So, I agree.
So,
But that's good for Zed. Now, moving on to Juggernaut itemization, we have Dead Man's Plate, which has actually already been in the game. But this is its official release, so we'll talk about it. Cost $27.50. Chain Vest Giant Belt 1,000 gold, 600 health, 50 armor, unique passive. You build up momentum stacks while moving. At 100, it grants you 60 bonus movement speed. Momentum rapidly decays while under immobilizing crowd control effects and decays slowly while slowed. Now, unique passive, Crushing Blow. Basic attacks discharge all of your momentum, dealing 1 bonus damage for every 2 momentum. If you have
So
100
bonus 50.
stacks, yeah. So if you have 100 stacks and discharge
so it's 100.
twice, yeah, it's 100. So if you have 100 stacks are discharged, the damage is doubled. If the attack is melee, the target will also be slowed for 75%, decaying over 1 second. So this works really well on champions like Singed and on Garen. People who like to chase at you too and kill you and do things. So yeah,
that's still a lot of gold.
I've been buying it a few times. I do like what it gives you. It gives you good health and good armor, though. And what it's okay. So you know those champions you want to build tanky, but you want to build damage. It fits those.
Yeah, and I understand that, but like, we already have like
I like it on a few champions.
7 armor items
We
in the
have
game,
so
and we
many
have
armor items. We have like
2
no
magic
resist.
resist
Yeah, I agree.
attack items. So it's just like that's not what I guess that's not my point, but like this will give you either get Sunfire Cape or you get this.
Yeah.
But I feel like Randuin's is still the better of the two, especially with
No,
like
wait.
everything
wait.
so auto attack based.
Foreshadowing. Nerfed.
Oh my god, they nerfed it?
Yep.
What the hell?
Foreshadowing.
Well, this patch sucks balls.
Sterix Gage is next, or Starax, or however the hell you say that. This is
Stark's Gauge, winter is coming.
yeah. Anyways, so this is another new item. So what this one is it's 500 health and 25% base attack damage. Okay, it's a longsword, a giant's belt, and 1190 gold. Passively, or unique passive, taking at least 400 to 1800, based on your level, damage within 5 seconds will grant you Primal Rage for 8 seconds, and it's on a 45-second cooldown. Primal Rage causes your champion to gain increased size, 25% additional base attack damage, and a rapidly decaying shield of 30% of your maximum health. So,
I feel like it should be a percentage of your base health. The passive.
yeah.
Because this basically means if you're not like a full tank, you're gonna not get this item. Because 1800 damage at level 18, when you have like let's say 2500 health, or like 2700 health. Like this is your only like tanky item, let's say.
Yeah.
So like there's just not very many like build avenues I see, but like it is base damage. It's a whole bunch of base damage, so it doesn't really stack with building attack damage anyway.
Yeah.
So and then the primal rage is really good. Like I like
The
that.
Primal Rage is really cool in a fight when you run in. Like when you're one of those champions who wants to initiate for your team, you know you're going to get punished for it. You actually get a little bit of a buff then because you take the punishment for your team. Kind of an interesting counterplay measure. So
I wish that
it's
it would basically just. I wish it would actually grant increased size and tenacity. I think that would make a lot more sense. Because you're still just so easily kited next.
So.
Titanic
Hydra. Tiamat, Giant's Belt, 400 gold. Oh, yeah?
I see you.
400 health, 50 attack damage, and 100% base health regen. Unique passive, cleave, basic attacks deal 5 to 1% of your maximum health to your primary target, and 40 plus 2.5% of your maximum health as physical damage to enemies in a cone on hit. Your primary target does not take this damage. Attack with Titan. Unique active. Cleave damage to all targets is increased to 40 plus 10% of your maximum health as bonus damage, physical damage, in a large cone for your next basic attack. 20-second cooldown. Wow. That seems kind of strong.
Yeah.
That seems kind of good.
It's yeah.
Why would you?
This is one of those things where it's like just so like this. These are the changes that I actually like in the game because this is so much different than anything that we have. It's really hard to predict how it will be played. Like who's gonna buy it? Like not only like what play styles you're gonna have to play. Like is this gonna be a split pushing item? Is this gonna be like a frontline tank item? Is this gonna be like so it's just like. To me, it's just so much different that you can't even really say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't at least because I don't even know like what it's gonna do. Like you're gonna see this on some ridiculous champion that no one thought of, and then it's gonna get nerfed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's what it is.
That's just my opinion.
We'll see if you're right next patch. Foreshadowing. Warmog's armor is actually going to be a little bit different now. It costs more. Base health regen is being increased from 0 to 200%. No longer passively gives you 1% of your maximum health. Tripled if you haven't taken damage within 8 seconds as health regeneration. And it's got a unique passive now called Warmog's Heart. It restores 3% of your maximum health per second if damage hasn't been dealt to you in 8 seconds. You can only have Warmog's Heart if you have at least 3,000 health. So make sure you have enough health for it to work. So buying this as a first item,
200% health regen is really good.
Yeah, that's really good. I do agree. But this item is not actually effective until it'll get you to 300%.
It's not gold efficient. Until
you probably won't first item rush this because you won't get any of the other benefits from it. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this next change.
No magic mantle?
Yes.
The cost of it has been reduced by 50.
Good.
No, Negatron Cloak being decrossed by 50 gold as well. So good changes. This is the defensive itemization. These are the changes. These are little tweaks. We can go over these rather quick. Abyssal Scepter, cost increased by 20. Cleaning up.
Why the hell didn't they lower it by 30?
I don't know. They're dumb.
Clean numbers. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Spectral's Cowl, increase of magic resist by 5.
Yes, that's good.
Which means Spirit Visage is up to 60, has more base health regen, and it costs 50 gold less. I know, we're rolling it, dude.
This is like fucking League of Legends Christmas.
It is Christmas. It's magic resist Christmas. Banshee's Veil now costs 50 gold less. It builds differently. Spectral's Cowl, Crystalline Bracer, 900 gold, and it gives you 60 magic resist as well now too. So good deal there.
I like that Crystalline Bracer, not just the health crystal.
Same here. I like that too. I like that item. So. Aegis of the Legion, 300 gold cheaper. No Magic Mantle, Crystalline Bracer, 550 gold. 100% base health regen. 15 to all nearby enemies for the magic resist aura, down from 20, and the health aura for them is down as well. So they
To
lose
0.
to 0. So they lose out on that. But
0.
But
Okay.
But-
Waiting
okay.
for it.
Lock of the Iron Solari, cheaper by 50. Health regen for you, 100%. Magic resist aura still 15, not 20. No, obviously they're not going to change that. Health regen aura still not there. Shield amount, instead of it being 60 to 230 plus 50 plus 10 per champion level, it's 90 to 345, 75 plus 15 per champion level. Shield duration 2 seconds instead of 5. I like this change, and I will tell you why. It's a bigger shield when used correctly, and I can't tell you how many times I see people in the LCS use this item so incredibly wrong. They use it after fights are done. Use it when everyone jumps to the fight to get the most out of it. No one uses the shield ever.
Anytime that you lower a magic resist stat in the game, it makes me cry. Next item.
Next item. Okay.
Even if it's only 5, that's still why? What's that 5 magic resist gonna do?
That's 5 magic resist, man. That's Karthus cries when they all huddle together. He's like, no.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Banner of Command is cheaper. You get a health regeneration stat now. It loses the 5 magic resist for your allies and the health regen aura. So Banner's cheaper, but obviously the friend stuff is gone. Raptor Cloak is actually more expensive. You get more base health regen. You get less movement speed in your turret. Don't buy Raptor's Cloak.
Does Raptor's Cloak even build into anything?
Yeah, it builds into Omrecker and Zizrit Portil, which is now cheaper. Gives you more health regen. Gives you less movement speed in your turrets.
And you still don't buy it.
And you still don't buy it. Yeah, damage per level 5. Yeah, Void Spawn health. Oh, it's up, but who cares? I'm going to go ahead and give you all a hint. Don't buy this item either. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember when Sunfire could stack. That was fun. God, that was stupid.
That was stupid.
I'm Eve, and I can stay invisible forever next to you. You're melting, and you don't know why. It's too late. You're dead.
I knew why, and that's when I just laid down the AoE, baby.
Nope, because it wouldn't work, because she actually had a stun back then, too, when she popped out of stealth.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
She was super overpowered. Wrecker, unchanged. Some health regen. Sorry, Ohm. Still not worth buying. Glacial Shroud, cheaper, 900 instead of 950. Iceborne Gauntlet and Zeke's Harbinger are also 50 gold cheaper. Warden's Mail costs 50 gold more. Interesting.
Ooh.
Frozen Heart costs 150 gold more and gives you 10 less armor.
Ooh, that's finally.
Thorn Mail costs 200 gold more. It reflects 15% less damage to the attacker. It additionally deals 0.25% of your bonus armor as damage to the target, so it will scale. Sound fun?
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
So that's that.
No more 3-shotting myself against a tank. Thornmail target is vain.
Unless he
Thank
has
you,
more.
Jesus.
Unless he has more armor. So
But it won't,
it won't scale as hard. Yes.
because I would assume that your last whisper will
Yeah.
negate that.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my god, it's so pretty.
Randuin's Omen gets a new pretty look, but it costs 150 gold less, gives 100 health less, and gives 10 armor less. And the slow duration is 4 seconds now instead of scaling. And reduces incoming critical strikes by 10%. So you do get that, which I do kind of like that.
I thought you said they nerfed this item.
Well, they nerfed the health and the armor on it.
I don't give a shit about the health and the armor.
Oh, okay.
10%, like you're base tanking an 80 carry, and they're like, 10% of that, that's the health that you're looking for right there in the armor. Jackpot.
Jackpot. Found it. Yeah.
Jackpot.
Cinderhulk enchantment. The health on it is being increased by 100, and the bonus health multiplier is down by 10%. I lied. It was a buff.
So now it's...
Oh no, it's a buff
a
for the
nerf.
base. No, it's a buff for the base stat, but yeah, it's a nerf for
It's
the
a
overstall.
buff for the
effect.
immediate and a nerf for the late game.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're either gonna buy Runglaive or Devourer.
In case people are wondering how the meta shifted, they're like, so what is the meta now? It's gonna be bruisers and assassins.
Yeah. We're gonna go back to Kazakhs. Probably not Kazakhs, but you
We're,
get what I'm saying.
we're into bruisers and assassins, though. That's what we're back to be honest. Righteous
love
Glory
it.
is getting a 100 gold decrease in cost. Loses Valor's reward.
Oh,
Yeah, it sucks.
it sucks for the laners who bought this item, but who gives a shit?
Yeah. HUD
Now Cat
updates.
doesn't need any more goddamn sustain. Okay.
Okay, girls passive. Okay. Still improving based on your feedback. So remaining cooldowns now prioritized over all other abilities except CC. Grayed out icons like pick a card, health potions, while at full health are less gray. Thank you. I actually hated that. Further darkened level up icons and abilities which can't currently be leveled up. Brighten the mini map. The scoreboard now displays a large next to enemy champions you don't have vision of. Okay. Position optimization. Reduced empty space between the mini map and its frame. The scoreboard no longer overlaps with the chat window. The surrender box no longer overlaps with ally/enemy team frames. Fun fact.
Oh.
So that's the HUD. Instant feedback system sounds good. Some bug fixes, also cool story. Upcoming skins.
Yo, I'm so excited for this ribbon skin. You have no idea.
I don't really think it looks good in
I
game.
am creaming in my pants right now, Andrew. I'm creaming in my pants.
I don't
Wait,
think.
and I also like this just because.
I mean, it's neat,
Well, no,
and I'd call her, but I mean,
you can also see the fact that they're planning on having 1, 2, 4 more arcade skins.
yes, because of this down here.
Yes.
There's
So
empty.
that's the foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. So yeah, four new ones will be popping up most likely because of these empty slots. You okay there? He made it. But yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you what I don't.
yeah, I mean, I think she looks good. Like I said, I'd call her, but I don't know if I'll buy her skin. And then we have the Academy skins coming out. We have Academy Echo and
Vladimir.
Vlad and Ari and this guy.
So I'll tell you one thing that all these champions
Is
have.
that supposed to be Darius?
Yeah, the one
just
at the bottom
making,
right.
yeah, just making sure. I said this guy.
I like the haircut. It's funky fresh. The Vladimir skin looks a lot like one of the ones he already has, and
Yeah.
the there's a trend here. Echo's been out for what, like 2 months, and he already gets a new skin. Like, I just feel like there's too many champions who are getting bulk skins, and I don't like it. For instance, even though he's my favorite champion in the game, Jax is getting a legendary skin. So
Yes.
I love that, but I also am like, he already has like 12 skins. Rito, please.
Yes. Yes.
And
Hey. That's those ones. And
that is
yeah,
the patch.
that's the patch. We made it. Oh, we kind of glossed over battle boss blitzcrank, but whatever.
It's a cool looking skin.
Yeah,
but,
it's
like,
neat.
This is another champion who, like, he has 7 skins.
Something like
8
that.
if you include chroma packs.
That is on my count chroma packs.
9 if you include his base skin.
Yeah, I mean he's got a lot. He does. He's been around a long time though. So
So I don't know. I just. What do you
Yeah.
mean he's been around a long time? Stop making skins for him.
that's what I'm saying. He's been around now.
He has Blitzcrank. It's came out in the last year.
Yeah, well, when I complained about a champion having not a lot of skins, they gave him another skin. It was crappy. So don't always. Ask
Was
for
it
skins.
Diana?
No, it was goddamn Trundle and his stupid fucking constable skin.
Yo, Constable is off the chain, to be honest.
Oh,
I don't know
stupid.
shit about
It's
it,
stupid. It's stupid. But that's the patch, and that's a picture of what's her face. So yeah. Yeah, let us know what you guys think. My day's going well though. Obviously, don't forget to leave the stream a like. Much appreciate it if you guys do so. Yeah. Yeah, when will Zed have more than 3 skins? I don't know. Faker needs to win another world championship with him to get
Yeah,
another
no
one.
shit.
I hope.
Yo, that's coming this season.
Yeah,
though.
no, he'll get one with the project skins. I'm pretty sure one's gonna be Project Zed.
I hope not.
So yeah, project skins. Obviously, guys, you've seen Riot tease them. I'm not gonna guess who they are. A lot of guesses
gonna
are already
beat
over
the
the
dead horse?
internet. So yeah, I don't like beating dead horses. I just like to beat people. with dead horses. So, yeah, that's the stuff. That's the patch. Let us know what you think. I think the patch is huge. I'm interested to play Mord. I'm going to be playing him in the bot lane as a carry, and I'm going to be destroying,
Oh
and I'm going
my
to prove
God,
Kyle wrong. I'm going to make Kyle
give me-
support me.
A, I'm not a support. I A to carry, and B, you'll be my support, and C, we'll lose the game. And
Dude, no, wrong again.
Nope. And I don't care how we do because we can get into a game and pub stomp some people. I want to see grand scheme what this does.
Yeah, I think honestly, if Mordekaiser becomes a thing and it swaps up possibilities in the bot lane, it will be, I don't want to say meta crushing, but look out because that might change things around. So
No.
I'm just saying.
He's not gonna do anything.
I'm just saying.
No.
Just saying.
All right.
I'm just saying. So
Okay,
that's gonna be the patch. Check out everything in the description to find out where Kyle lives, in a box down by the river, and let us know what you guys think in the comments. Leave the stream and or video a like, which is much appreciated. Obviously, if you made it this far into the patch, we love you more because you're cool. We appreciate it. We hope that you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time of the day it might be for you.
That only took us an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, not too bad.
It was a doozy.
It's a good one. So, but other than that, we'll see all of you guys later.
Bye.